To begin the installation of an RTU, you'll go to the main screen of the install work order and press the Add Equipment button in the top right corner. Select RTU and add the name. If the unit is not labeled, you will need to give the unit a name. For example, RTU1. Select Add. As soon as you do this, you'll see the equipment count next to RTU go from 0 to 1. Click the drop-down arrow, then the small arrow on the right of the RTU, to access the installation checklist. The checklist includes 7 steps and your progress will be indicated by the circles at the top. Fill out all of the fields requested at each step. On the Details section of the checklist, you will be asked for the area served by the RTU. Add the name of the space within the building this particular RTU serves. For example, front entrance or back storage. You'll also have to stick a Monaire label on the RTU and scan the QR code into the app. If the name of the unit doesn't appear on the unit itself, we recommend writing on this label with Sharpie. You will be asked to take a photo of the nameplate and the overall unit before continuing to the next step. When you reach the thermostat step, you can arrow forward to the next step. You will return to this later. Before doing anything on the sensors step, you'll need to install the Monaire supply sensor and then the return sensor. First, you should determine where the supply and return areas are within the unit. You'll remove the panel and mount the supply sensor as far away from the heat exchanger as possible. In this example, we're actually able to mount the supply sensor in the unit's return area and feed the probe into the supply area. If this is possible, this is preferred because it ensures the sensor won't be affected by the heat generated from the heat exchanger. Once the sensor has been installed, turn it on by pressing and holding the button just under the text, ACT, on the sensor. You'll see a blinking light. Once the blinking light stops, release the button. Now, using the Monaire app, return to the sensor step and scan the QR code on the supply sensor to the corresponding field in the app. As soon as this is done, the app will indicate the sensor is connecting. You can press Continue Installation at the bottom of the screen and proceed with the return sensor. Plug the probe into the temperature sensor and ensure that it's well secured. Again, you'll use a self-tapping screw to mount the sensor to the unit. Once the sensor is mounted, you'll drop the probe into the return area ductwork. Ensuring the probe is well secured and isn't getting pulled. Again, turn on the return sensor by pressing and holding the button on the sensor. Scan in the QR code on the return sensor into the Monaire app. Reinstall the panels on the unit. Finally, if you notice that the unit needs any repairs, indicate them in the repairs step of the work order. Please proceed to the onboarding video for thermostat installations to complete the thermostat step.